See, it's Tuesday, September 13th, year 2022. I'm doing something different here. I'm just recording this live versus like my normal recording on a camera, recording and uploading. So I'll give this a try. However, if I get anyone tuning in, I may not have time to reply to you, but thank you if you do tune in. Odds are no one will because this is a surprise type thing. Anyway, I'm Mazske Finance. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I ran a few numbers this morning because I know the majority of folks out there will never buy a single rental property. Okay, I know that. The majority of Americans will not buy a single rental property. I know the majority of Americans, at the most, will invest only in a 401k in their company 401k plan. I realize that because the majority of Americans, I'm not insulting you because you're not the average American. And I know there's one person watching, but I don't know who you are. So anyway, the majority of folks don't want to take the time, the energy, they don't have the motivation to learn about investing. All right. But knowing that the majority will never buy a rental property, can folks start buying dividend stocks with minimal time and energy to learn the dividend stocks? I will say yes, they can. I ran a few numbers. I was going to try to find a calculator and list a bunch of dividend stocks and go back historically in time and say I started with such and such and try to, thanks, I'm trying to stay calm, and try to project out what it would be worth, say, today. Okay, I could not find a calculator like that. All right, so what I did, I found a calculator. It was on, I think it was dividendathlete.com. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, dividendathlete.com. And I started, I'm just pretending, somebody's 20 years old and they have $1,000. $1,000 isn't a lot. Maybe they saved their birthday money, their Christmas money. Maybe they worked a job and just got $1,000. So we're going to make a couple assumptions. We're going to say they have $1,000 and they can save from their paycheck because they're working a job. They can save $200 a month. $200 a month is $2,400 annually. With this calculator, I cannot compound it monthly. It's only compounded annually. So that's going to hurt returns. Okay. There are better calculators out there, but I did not find one. All right. And we'll have another assumption that the average dividend rate is 4.5%. All right. That's possible. You can beat that. I know of dividend stocks that are paying 8%, 7%, 6%. You can beat that. But we're going to say someone just, all they do is take the 65 or so dividend aristocrats and the dividend kings, and they just randomly pick some out, and they got a 4.5% yield. And let's say the dividend increased, the annual dividend increased. The default was 10%. I reduced it to 6% annual increase on the dividend and a 6% share price increase. Now, the experts out there will say the S&P 500 returns 7 to 9% a year. I don't think that will happen over the next 10 years, but we'll just say for a variety of different reasons. But we'll say the share price will increase an average of 6%. All right, and we'll say they do not increase their monthly contributions for 10 years. 10 whole years. They're 20 years old. They work to age 30. They start dating. They get in a relationship. Maybe they buy their first house. They have a child. And so 10 years goes by, and they look one day and like, oh my, what are my dividend stocks worth now? And they see, according to this calculator, that they're worth $35,863. They're like, look at that. I got $35,000. You know, that's something. In 10 years from now, that might not be very much, but it's something. Let's say by then they're established in their job. They've job hopped for a bit, but now they got a better job, or they got side gigs, or they got whatever. So let's say they do a one-time increase in their annual contribution, and now they can save $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year. It's a one-time thing. They never increase it again. Never increase it again. All right? And then we go forward 20 more years. The person is now 50 years old. 50 years old. And once I finish it with this number, I'll go back with some other assumptions that I will relate to you. But 20 more years after that, when they're 50 years old, their balance on their dividend stocks would be $568,688. But more importantly, their annual dividend yield, the amount of money in dividends, is $26,000 a year. It's actually 26,026, 26026. So $26,000 a year is their income. Because you've heard me harp in my videos, going back a long time, about positive cash flow. You need money to live on. The experts out there, the gurus, the CNBC, the Bloombergs, Vanguard, all these different companies out there, they will talk about saving a chunk of money and taking the 4% safe withdrawal rate, which is actually like a 3.65% rate. Okay, which means if you have $1 million and you withdraw 3.65%, that's $36,500 a year. Okay, and that's after saving all 40 years of working till you're 60 something, and you got $1 million. All right. Now, you know personally, if you've watched my channel, I prefer real estate or better cash flowing type investments. But let's say someone out there is lazy, because most people are. Let's say they don't want to devote any time, energy, nothing towards learning how to invest, but they do decide to go with dividend investing. All right. My assumption will be that the average person will not wait till age 30 to look at their dividend portfolio. My hope would be that they'll look at it at least quarterly, if not monthly, if not daily, and look at it and see these shares, because the assumption on this is your dividends get reinvested. See their shares growing. They might start with 2 shares of this company and 3 shares of this company, and then they'll see at the end of a year they got 2.5 shares or 4.1 shares instead of 3. And it takes time, but it starts to compound and grow. And the average person would probably start increasing their savings before they're age 30. All right. The beauty in doing it this way versus the lazy man's way of doing, oh, let me just put my money in an S&P 500 index fund. That S&P 500 index fund does get dividends. All right. But yet it just grows to a pot of money, whatever it is. It's at the market's whim. Markets go up, markets go down. I was a successful individual stock investor since 1999 to the year 2020. All right, I know how to pick individual stocks. I had a close to an 18% annualized rate from 2005 to 2018, 2019, 2020. I averaged about 100% a year. All right, I know how to pick individual stocks. Personally, I like real estate better. Personally, I like mineral rights, acreage, and oil drilling as well. All right, because they give me cash flow. It's hard to live on $1 million. I used to think when I was younger, if I could just get $1 million, I could withdraw $40,000 a year. That's that 4% rate. Knowing now I couldn't withdraw 40, it'd be like 36, 37,000 probably. But by withdrawing that 40, and then I got my pension, which today is $30,000, you're at $70,000. I used to think that would be kind of cool. But as the years went on, I realized I'm not going to get to $1 million. I did not make enough money. I had 2 kids. I could not save enough money. I would not get to $1 million. But if I had started back then, instead of buying growth stocks and tech stocks, which is what I did, is why I had such great growth. What if I had started with dividend stocks as a young guy? And I started seeing that cash flow. And I started seeing the cash flow come in and compound. And let's say I put a little thought into it. And good morning, Dave. And if I saw a little bit of cash flow coming in, I might start realizing, wait a second, what other investments provide cash flow? What other investments? And maybe, because the missus has told me when I was in my late 20s, mid-20s, I talked about rental property, but I never pulled the trigger. And I remember this a little bit. I never pulled the trigger to get a rental. I did have one house that was an accidental rental, all right? But I never pursued buying rental property. But if I had been investing in dividends, not just one dividend stock out of 20 and the 19 others were growth, which is kind of what I had before, but if I invested in more dividend stocks as they compounded, I think my mind would have realized, hey, this quarterly dividend payment, it's something. If I wanted to, I could live off that, even though it'd be very small back then, but I could live off of it. All right. That's the beauty in real estate. You can live off your investment. I had a text pop up, sorry. The beauty of real estate investing, you can live off your cash flow. I am living, breathing proof. Those of you that have met me, which is probably no one that's watching right now, realize when I was living in the Shenandoah Valley, I lived in an old house. It was a small house. I drove old cars. I wore old clothes. Look at this old T-shirt. That's who is that? I think that's Tommy. He used to be LAPD. And I've met quite a few drug dogs from California, from Alan Krugel. I think I talked about him one time. There's a picture back there of me in uniform with Alan Krugel and Serpico. Serpico was a Rottweiler, right? Shoot, drawing a blank on dog names. But anyway, I'm digressing. So, but if you get rental property and you get cash flow, you can live off of it. I'm living here. When I moved here, I had 25 rentals. I had just started small positions in oil investing and mineral rights. And my mineral rights, the only payments I had received were in my self-directed IRAs. So none of it was coming into my pocket just yet. Fast forward to now, I've been living here for a year and a half. I'm getting monthly oil revenue coming in. I'm getting mineral rights acreage revenue coming in. I'm getting rental revenue coming in. As I've told the missus, and I may have said in a prior video, last month my oil money beat my rental money. Hey, that's pretty cool. 346,000 miles. All right, have a great day at work there, and keep driving it. But then the oil money beat my rental money. I added up my total investments in oil, and that's counting oil and mineral rights, and added up the money I've put into my rental property. And the rental property one is hard to calculate because I've pulled cash out to buy others, so it's different. But as far as I can tell, I have put more money into rentals because I counted all the rehabs I've done than I put into oil. But my oil money is beating my rental money. Okay? That's food for thought if you become accredited. Because the goal with investing to me is we need positive cash flow to live on. All right? Because you can't live on a stockpile of money until it gets really, really big. But you can live on cash flow from day one, basically. But as you become accredited, there perhaps are other alternative investments out there that maybe beat real estate. But even if we go back to that 20-year-old that starts with stocks and they buy dividend stocks, if that's all they ever do, they can supplement their future income with the dividend income and they can live off of it. And even when they retire, let's say they pay off that house they bought with their kids, when they had young kids, they pay it off and they're getting dividend income coming in. They can always reinvest part of that and it'll keep growing. Same with real estate. I could stop buying all new investments right now, and as time goes on, I will get pay raises because my rents will go up, oil revenue will go up, mineral right revenue will go up. Mineral rights might get sold, I get a chunk of money and I reallocate it. Same for oil, same for rental property. So over time, it just keeps increasing. All right. Knowing what I know now, I say with complete confidence that any of the three of you watching, or any of you that watch this in the future, if you want to be financially independent, it is possible to be financially independent within 10 years. I say that hands down, emphatically. I believe in that. Now, with that being said, 99% of the people out there will never do it. They'll never do it. All right, so will you? Will you? If you're watching right now, or if you're watching this in the future, because most of my viewers tune out before we get to 14 minutes, and we're 14 minutes into this. So if you really want it, get it done. You don't have to get it done by watching my channel. You don't have to get it done by watching any other YouTube channel out there. However, by watching the channels, it can help you to get motivated. It can help you learn some tricks and techniques. All right. And if you're buying real estate, I'm going to run through something real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this up. If you own rental property and the reason I'm saying this, maybe 2 years ago, I met a guy on a Zoom call. I sat in on a real estate meetup group out of Kansas City. And we had breakout rooms. And one guy I was chatting with in the breakout room, told me he had like 4 rentals, and he told me he was stuck. And and he asked me how I was growing to, I think I'd had 25 by then, or I'm pretty sure I was at 25 then. He asked me how I did it. And I told him, about reusing capital. And I told him, explained to him real quick, this is what I done. When I had 5 units, I sold a house. I took that one house, the money, I bought 4 more properties. All right. Then the following year, I did a cashback refinance on a triplex and a single family home. That's 4 units. I did a cashback refinance, and I got enough money back to buy 9 properties. So along the way, then I bought some more. But anyway, it flew by, but in just under 4 years, I had 25 rental properties. All right. I did not use stock money to buy this. The only stock money I used to buy was 2 houses in my self-directed IRAs. So I bought 23 houses in under 4 years without spending a lot of money to get started, because I used a HELOC to help me get started. I did not have a lot of money in savings, so I used a HELOC to get started. And I still got up to 25 rentals in 4 years without having a lot of money, without finding a private lender, without having any trade secrets, without knowing what I was doing when I first started. Because when I first started, remember, I've said this before, I got stressed out because my first tenant ever stopped paying me rent. And it really hurt me, because I took it personal. I had this house that I had bought, and I was so proud of it because I got my first rental house, and this single mom with 2 kids started playing games with me. And then I had to evict her, take her to court, and it was a whole thingamajigger. So anyway, I learned a lot from that. I lost a lot of faith in mankind. Not just from that. I lost a lot of faith in mankind from being a cop for 20 years. I lost a lot of faith in mankind by having a roommate when I was like 20-ish years old who talked to me about mutual funds, got me interested, helped ignite that spark. And then he ended up going to prison for 20 years, federal prison for 20 years, and got a $1 million fine and got dishonorably discharged from the United States Navy. All right, so you compound all that, and I've lost faith in mankind. So, with the 3 of you watching this right now, what can you do? I am willing to help anyone to get started. All right, I've tried to do it with my YouTube channel, but my YouTube channel is struggling. So I don't know how long I'm going to maintain this, because it's just not worth the time and the effort. You know, I have books and books and books I want to read. I have kayaking I want to do. I want to swim. I want to buy a boat. I want to travel more. 4 trips so far. I've got 2 more lined up. Going to Texas next year. Going to other places. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to take you guys along with me. I want to help you to live vicariously through me, and perhaps I will live vicariously through you with whatever your adventures are. All right. But with that being said, it takes time to do all this. That's why I'm doing a live video. If I record it, I have to do a lot of stuff. YouTube's busier than ever. It's something like 500 hours are uploaded every second on YouTube. So it takes longer and longer to process a video. If I do this live video, there's nothing I need to do when it's done. And it takes a long time. It'll take hours, but this will eventually upload. So with that being said, we're at 19 minutes. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for that one thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Take care. My email address is always in the description below. I'll add it once this is uploaded, but it's mazkefinance@gmail.com. If there's anything I can help you with, shoot me an email. Have a great day. Mazke's signing out.